So you join me in this video today on a very, very cold winter morning. It's freezing actually, but I've got my Ricoh GRIIx and I'm inputting my first recipe. As you know, if you watch this channel, I always do the Fujifilm recipes, but today we are going to do the Ricoh recipes. So let's see how we get on. Make some photos. I've chosen one from the Ricoh app. Let's take some photos first and we can talk about how you input the Ricoh recipes, and you can make some shots on your Ricoh too. Okay, so the recipe I chose from the Ricoh recipe app was titled Analog Film. This is a very saturated recipe with some very strong contrasting tones, which I think worked well in essence with the bright wintry sunlight we were having. For my first time using one of these Ricoh recipes, I'm definitely encouraged to see and produce more recipes with this camera. However, the aim of this video is to show you how I set up my camera and how I input the Ricoh recipe using the Ricoh Recipes app. Okay, if you're new to this, you may be wondering what a recipe is. Basically is a JPEG setting, which allows you to achieve a certain look straight out of camera. A lot of these are based on film stocks, but there is room to create your own and achieve any look that you desire. So like I said, the look that we tried to achieve today was analog film. There still seems to be a huge urge to replicate film photography in a digital camera. That's kind of what we're trying to achieve here without any post-production. So I hope that kind of summarizes what a recipe is. The next thing I quickly want to go over is the recipe that I chose, analog film. I thought it was okay. I really wish I had got a few more shots, but due to certain circumstances, time restraints, that's as much as I can give you today. However, this video is all about showing you, the viewer at home, how to input the settings into your camera. Now, it's slightly different from the Fujifilm system. As you can tell, they're different systems. So let's dive in and let me give you a deep dive on how I do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do to make this very simple for you guys out there is to start the process all over again. So first off, what I'm going to do is turn the dial from U1 to U2. Like so. The next thing you want to do is download the Ricoh recipe app if you haven't already. So what I want to do is turn on the camera. We want to head to menu. Now the place where we're going to change most of our settings is in image control. Now to replicate the recipe analog film, we need to change a few settings. So we're going to head into image control and we are going to set our effect to positive film. As you can see, we're in standard at the moment, so we're just going to flick down to positive film till we find it. And as you can see, it says FN, which will give us the settings to change. So we're going to click FN and you'll see we have a bunch of settings pop up to the right. Now all we have to do is match up the setting with the Fujifilm recipe on the app. So when we go to saturation, we are going to go all the way to 4. When we go to hue, we are going to go to -4. When we choose high and low key adjustment, that goes all the way to +2. Contrast is going to be +4. Contrast highlight will be -4. Contrast shadow is +4. So we've got some really opposite kind of settings here, which I think makes the effect what it is. Sharpness is 0, so we keep it the same. Shading 0. Clarity is -2. I guess most film stocks, if they're replicating film, would have this setting to something like that. And that's it. You click OK. So they're all the settings that you can do in the image control. We now need to change the highlight correction. So we go down to D-range correction. And highlight correction, as we can see here, we want it on. It's on auto at the moment, but we're going to put it on. On shadow correction, we're going to turn this off. We then want to head to noise reduction. We also want the slow shutter speed, noise reduction off. Okay, we're going to head back, and one of the main corrections we need to make is the white balance. So head all the way back up to the top where you'll find white balance. Now it says CT 6300 Kelvin. So you want to click on the white balance and head down to where you'll see CT. Now, I assume CT stands for color temperature, as it is written there, and there is the K. So I'd imagine this is the one you'll need, but the way we change the color temperature is by clicking on function again, and we have this all pop up here. The first thing we want to do is correct the Kelvin. So as you can see, it's 6300. So let's bring that up all the way to 6000. So as you can see, it's warming up to 300. There we go, 6300 Kelvin. We then, this is the bit that a lot of people I think get stuck on, we then want to hit display. We then want to change the A and G settings. So if you click up, this is your G setting. So this would be, so the input we want is G6. So we go up 6 times. And we also want A1. So we're going to hit right once. And that's our setting. That's our color temperature. That's our white balance set. And we hit OK. So that's all done now. You can change the ISO. Now, if you want to, you obviously just go in ISO setting, click on that. And if you want to change, it says ISO auto upper limit 6400. To be honest, I don't ever really shoot that high, and I probably won't with this, but if you want to set it to that, set your ISO to 6400. The lower limit is 100, and the last thing you can do as well is head back to menu and click to your screen, and then you just want to check your exposure compensation, where you can change the exposure. This says -1/3 to -2 +1/3. Again, you can cater to this. This is your setting. This is how you want it. So, and any other settings, kind of, if you want to shoot some RAWs, the aspect ratio, that's all up to you. But they are the settings you want if you're going to shoot analog film. So this applies the exact same way if you're going to shoot a different recipe. Now, the final step, and probably the most important step, which I nearly forgot, is that you have to save the recipe. If you don't, and you turn off your camera, all those settings will be lost. So this is how you do it. You're going to go into the sidebar here and click all the way down to the C and scroll over, and you'll see save settings. Click on save settings, and as you can see here, you can save it to U1, U2, U3. We've assigned this to U2 because I already have a setting or a recipe here that I have saved. So if you just click into box 2, click on that, it will ask you to enter the name, call it whatever you want. I'm just going to do QQQ for now because I only have one hand. Click OK. Assign settings saved in user box to mode dial, and then click OK. Data process completed. Yeah, that's as simple as it is. Nothing too tricky there, but a very important step to using a recipe over and over again without having to input it every time, because believe you me, that's a chore. This was my first time using a recipe on the Ricoh GRIIx. I definitely need to have a few more goes, but I am encouraged by some of the JPEGs I have produced today. I'm not sure if this particular recipe was my style, but that's the fun of it. That is the process of playing with these recipes, is that you can tailor make. If I didn't want it as saturated as it came out, then I could just tone that back. These aren't rules. That rules can be broken, so you can play with this as much as you want. Remember, they're trying to emulate a certain style. No one is going to notice if you've changed a certain setting, so play with it as you will. I have noticed there are a lot less recipes on the Ricoh recipes app. I guess it might not be as popular as the Fujifilm recipes, but still room to play with, still very fun, still very interesting to go out and take shots and replicate a certain look in your camera. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer any of the questions you put out there. Let's make some waves, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.